We're on.
Oh, we're on?
We're on.
Oh my God, we're on. Oh!
And we're awake and alive. Maybe.
Welcome to What is the Real?
Reality show. Are we still calling it a reality show?
It is real. It's reality for sure, right? I don't know.
That's the question. What is the real?
What is the real? My name's Kara-Leah.
And,
What's your name?
well, I was going to say some people call me Melissa. Some people call me Liz. Some people call me Mox.
Mox?
Yeah, because I sign M-O-X.
Yeah.
And because it's short for Moxie, which I like to try to remember to have.
I like that. You definitely have Moxie. All right, today's topic to deliver to you in 11 minutes is what the fuck does it mean to wake up? I like my swear words.
I know, you did. Well, when we agreed on it, we didn't say that. I'm
What?
just going to pick my nose on camera.
Okay.
That's real.
That's real.
So we were talking about how does each person or the two of us, because we're the only ones here, experience the waking up, or what is waking up?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? So in my world, waking up means that I'm becoming more and more aware of that which I was unconscious of. So I'll start to notice my projections, I'll start to notice my patterns, I'll start to notice my unconscious fears, my limiting beliefs, and all that stuff starts to float up, and then I can see it, and then it's like, I don't have to be afraid of you. I don't have to believe in you. I don't have to act on that pattern anymore. And so it's like this dissolving, clearing out that happens. And as that happens, it also feels like I'm abiding more and more in the aspect that witnesses. So my mind is no longer in control. Sorry, mind, that you are no longer in control most of the time. So it's a mastery of mind. So I'm aware of the mind having thoughts that often are just not true. You know, the mind likes to go off on all kinds of tangents.
Well, do you think that's also more along the lines maybe of not necessarily mastering the mind, but not being mastered by it?
I quite like mastering the mind because you know me, darling. I like to master things. But also because the mind is an amazing tool, and to be able to use the mind to discern and to pass out and to the mind is like a scalpel's knife. Like it's what
Cuts through.
Totally. So I love my mind, but it's just not in charge anymore. How do you see it in your world? Tell me about your world.
Well, I feel like with what you were saying correlates to one way in which I've seen waking up. So where you were talking about discernment, or being able to see, being more the witness of seeing this, and then because of that you have choice, you have agency. I love that word. So similarly, me being aware of how I wake up in the morning, and that as a spiritual practice, because I'm shifting from a different level of consciousness into this world where I seem to have more agency. I seem to have more control over things and to make choices, whereas in the dream world, unless you're bringing your consciousness into the dream world, where then you do have agency, most people in the dream world don't, then it's out of control. It's happening to you. So that feels like a similar parallel. So that's what I mean by taking that agency so much more, and that awareness and perception so much more in my waking life, that then it filters into my dreaming, sleeping life, so that I wake up in gratitude. So that's been my practice of something from Wayne Dyer. I always want to say Dwayne Dwyer or Wayne Dyer. Was talking about this meditation of just before sleep, how you're going to marinate, so the consciousness that you have those 5 minutes before you fall asleep is like marinating yourself in the however many hours you sleep. And so I've been using that as a bookend before I'm going into those realms of sleep. And then can I wake up in gratitude, or if I don't, how long does it take me to shift into gratitude?
Right.
Where does my mind go first thing in the morning? Is it into fear-based thinking or resistance, as opposed to I'm alive, I'm in my right mind?
Yeah, I'm waking up again. Yes.
But that's a huge shift.
Right.
And so I've been working on that for years.
So before you started working on this, waking up in gratitude, how did you used to wake up? Did you wake up with like foreboding or?
Well, I still do.
Yeah,
I mean,
really?
Yeah, absolutely. There's still, I mean, I feel like this is why it's always a practice and never a performance, you know, whether it's yoga or some little thing like this. It's continually a practice until one day it's living me. And that's not the place where it is yet. I mean, I'm not yet waking up in that automatic sense of I'm alive. It's still practice. Mm-hmm. So where I will or have more before, but still do wake up, is in a place of what day is it? That's one thing. You know, like that's the start of like, where am I? Because I've been traveling so much. A lot of times I'm like, I don't even know where I am. Yeah. And then what day is it? And then that's going to indicate what do I have to do? And so there's all of these moving into action as opposed to shifting first into a quality of graciousness and gratitude for existing in the first place, for waking up.
Gotcha. It's like the mind. So I always like to think of it as like the mind is the secretary, and our abiding awareness, beingness, consciousness, whatever, is the CEO. Mm-hmm. And it's like if you're waking up and your mind's going, where am I? When is it? What do I have to do? But it's like the secretary is just. But if you wake up and you're in your gratitude and you're in your calmness and you're like, I'm alive, the CEO is just kicking back and you're in the CEO. You know, you feel the difference?
Yeah, sure.
I like that. That's cool. And so
that's a conscious choice. So what I'm talking about is coming from unconsciousness or subconsciousness or dreaming consciousness without yet first making that conscious choice. Yeah. Of going, oh, I'm in secretary mode, because that I can do, and that's what I'm talking about. Of how long does it take me to shift into that? Yeah. How rare is it for me to wake up and be in this awe and reverence for being alive? Mm-hmm.
Time check. Because we only have 11 minutes to give.
So we have a little under 4 minutes. Okay. So the question is, how do we experience waking up? Yeah. And I would say, you know, even as a child, my mom would try every sweet trick in the book to get me up to go to school. And this is probably something that happens with lots of children, is that, you know, they would love to sleep, love to not go to school. But for me, it was about sleep, and it was about that transition. And if I trace it even farther back, with birthing, it was, you know, coming into the world, and then there was some sort of block, and then I was born cesarean. So that hero's journey of like fully making my way into the world. Like I initiated the birth. I started the waking up process. But then there was some kind of holding, whether it was in my mom or in myself or both, where it wasn't moving, or maybe the doctor was impatient. That's a common one. And so, you know.
Darling, I've got a golf game. Can we just get this baby out now? I'm going to need this baby out. C-section. She needs a C-section. Golf.
Yeah. So who knows what the story was, because I was there, but I didn't have words yet. No. And as far as I know.
Pre-verbal.
So that coming into a different reality. Yeah. And the energy, the sense of freedom or safety in stepping into that reality, I feel like is what's at hand there.
So you're doing this practice so that you can wake up and already be in gratitude without having to shift into it, rather than waking up in mind. Yeah. I like it.
So that's why the marination the night before is helpful, because
before you go to sleep.
And it's not immediate. I mean, maybe it's happened a few times, but it's not like it happens every single time. And it's just amazing how slippery the mind is. Like, I know you know this, but
I know this.
Like at night, those 5 minutes, it's amazing where my mind goes. So I'll start thinking about, how is it I want to be? What are the qualities I want to live in? You know, if there are challenges, how do I want to be with them? If there are visions of how I want to live in the world, what are they? How quickly my mind, even with that task so clear, knowing that I'm marinating it in it for the next 8 hours, my mind will still go into what isn't working and how that won't happen, and into the stories of the day, and like so quickly. It's just, it's slippery stuff.
And I guess that's why I do call it mastery of the mind. I do like that term, mastery, because it's like, come on, whip that motherfucker. I want to ask you about the fruits of this.
I'm
right?
thinking about that. Okay.
Yeah. 11. We've only got 11 minutes. I think it's useful because we talk about what it means to wake up. Can we sum up? Like, can you give me in like 30 seconds? Why are you bothering? What's the fruits of it?
Why bother?
Why bother waking up? Why bother waking up? Oh, you've only got like 25 seconds now.
Right. Well, I might spend 20 of it thinking and then 5 speaking. I like to know what it is I'm going to say. Well, I think similar to yoga practice, people will come, they're not sure about it, they come to it. The feeling that they have afterwards is what drives them the next time, right? So those experiences that I've had of being in gratitude and how it's connected me to all that is and how it's given me a sense of reverence and humility, perspective of my place in the universe, that I'm so maybe the CEO thing for me may not work, but it's more the sense of like, I'm part of all of this. And having gratitude for that versus, I have this to do, I have that to do, which is I'm like, what is that? Yeah. Where is that coming from? And that's there. I mean, if I'm honest about it, that is something that I'm working with. So knowing that how it feels when I do it is what's driving me to keep doing it. And so I think sometimes that's the catch-22. Like until somebody goes to a yoga class or until somebody experiences
a moment of awakeness
or gratitude or whatever it is,
then
how are you going to know that that's what feels good?
Yeah.
Or why would you do it again? Or why would you do it at all?
Why would you do it at all? Yeah.
Okay, so your answer.
Okay, 30 seconds on why I'm bothering to wake up.
Yes.
Yeah, because I did have a real taste of it, way back when, and it was just a taste, but it was like, oh my God, that felt so incredibly different from my normal mode of operation. So then when I went bang right back into conditioned mind and all the bullshit, it was like, oh, I'm finding my way back there. Because it was like wow, better than any drug I'd ever done, and I'd done a lot of drugs by that point, so I had all these benchmark comparisons of different kinds of consciousness, and it was like, whoa, that's so worth putting the effort in and showing up and doing the work so I can live in that place. And now I mostly do live in that place, maybe,
But what is that place? Like, how would you describe it?
Oh, it is as a sense of life happens through me, and even when it's painful, I don't suffer with it. So the pain is still there, but there's not a lot of suffering. And when I can sense when I'm starting to attach or avoid, and so then I'm able to soften, let go again, be with the pain. And there is just this deep gratitude and trust and the beauty of life and how it is such a gift. It is such a gift to be alive, and to just feel that and know that and like be swimming in it is extraordinary.
We'll leave you with a tearful, grateful. See you later.
What is surreal? Over and out.